Right, happy Friday night. Happy Friday night live stream, everybody. Hope you're all doing good. I have a little present. I got a little something through the post, and so it's like Christmas for me. I got this little beauty. Have a little look at this little thing. So, this was quite cheap. Thankfully, I think it was only about 18 quid, but I'm hoping that this is going to be the end of my brake woes of trying to fix this silly stupid old bike of mine, this my old Triumph TT600. So got this little beauty for about 18 quid. It's cheap. Yep, it's I don't know. Yeah, cheap and cheerful. Hopefully it'll do the job. The only thing I've got to do now is I've ordered a bit of aluminium. I need to make a custom bracket now to make that fit the bike, and then hopefully, big hope. Hopefully, I've done enough then to get it MOT'd. But we'll see. It's a case of the time, really. The bracket shouldn't take me too long. So, because I've said that, that'll probably take me like 6 hours or something ridiculous now. But yeah, now I've just got to cut and shape a piece of metal with a few holes in the right places to get that to fit, and then hopefully that's a good one. So, yeah, what to talk about tonight? Today's the day for my eldest. She is looking forward to watching more Stranger Things, because I think today's the day on Netflix they're releasing some of the new series, so she's been really enjoying that. So for the bits I've seen, I've really enjoyed it too. I love that it's set in the 80s, because the 80s were great to me. I'm a child of the 80s, was born at the beginning of them, grew up during the 80s, and then sort of the 90s. Was sort of like a teenager in the middle of the 90s, and yeah, so I love seeing all the nostalgic kind of stuff and the music and all that kind of stuff. It's mad, isn't it, that even because of the popularity of that show, Kate Bush, running up that hill, that song. Is it called Is it called Deal with God, or what's it called? The Deal. You'll know which one I mean. Went back to #1 because so many people are sort of streaming it and downloading it and what have you. So that's kind of cool. I quite like that song anyway. I was never like a massive Kate Bush fan. I know a lot of people were like really quite gone on Kate Bush. She was alright, but music was alright. But that song in particular is a pretty good one. So yeah, if you've got anybody wants to chat about anything, pop stuff in the chat. We'll talk, and I'll have a quick look at the news as well. Let's just pop this on screen. I was trying to have a quick look through, and there was one thing that caught my eye, and it was I'm not sure when this happened. I think it was a day or two ago. But did you see that those daft idiots super glued themselves to a piece of artwork in an art gallery? I don't even know where it was actually. Let's see. City Centre Art Gallery evacuated due to disruption caused by protesters. Yeah, here we go. Here's these. Oh no, it's not going to come on with sound, is it? I hate these autoplay things. I usually do an advert, but yeah, there was a couple of people. I hate these websites. Actually. Oh, there we go. Nope. It was on for a split second, then it went off. They were wearing these stupid orange T-shirts. There he is, supergluing themselves to a piece of artwork. So, what was it in Manchester? Right, let me just get rid of that off screen for a second. So yeah, I've got something to say about that. What was so funny about that one was the fact that the lad had this on his T-shirt. It was like something like "Stop Oil" or "Just Stop Oil." And I've never heard anything so idiotic in my entire life. Nobody thinks things through logically when they do these things, right? They're all like, oil is bad, right? Let's just ban oil. It's like, okay, you've just killed us all. Like, pretty much. Well, not all of, but most of the people. Because, like, okay, so if he thinks he can live in a world without oil, right? So there goes most of your farming. How do you think your food gets to you? Farm equipment, runs on oil. Things are made out of oil. The plastics, the lubricants, and the hydraulics. Almost everything relies on oil, right? And then the supply chain. So this guy just, oh yeah, it's great to have a T-shirt. Just says, just stop oil. Yeah, like it's just that easy. Okay, if we get rid of every single product that uses oil, congratulations, your life now sucks, and you're probably going to starve and die. That's how it works, right? Anybody who thinks otherwise is naive. It just annoys me. It's like, even basic things like farming, but also his clothing. Some people were pointing out the irony of the fact that the solvent they were going to need to use to get the super glue off, so he could get released from the the frame of the picture that he's glued himself to, is made from oil. Just almost everything. Don't get me started on it. But yeah, there's just these. They're like religious kind of zealots and sort of extremists in a way. They're like, they they just can't connect reality to how they think the world should be. It's like, okay, you can have a slogan, ban oil or get rid of all oil. It's like, okay, what's your alternative then? How do you possibly sustain this, people, the way people live and the things that people need to live without oil? It can't be done, in my opinion. Not without, yeah, not unless the population of the Earth was devastated. And quite frankly, I'd rather burn some oil for that, because yeah, I have various views on that, which I'll not go into YouTube anyway. Something that's quite interesting actually as well is the where oil comes from. Did you know there's more than one theory? You just get told fossil fuels this, fossil fuels that, blah blah blah, oil bad. Have you ever looked up the abiotic theory of oil production? That's an interesting one if you got time. That theory is that actually it's constantly being produced by the movement, the tectonic plate movement, and the pressures and things is actually constantly creating it, and it's not actually what we're told in the textbooks. That's an interesting one. Scientific theory, proper scientific theory, abiotic. What was it now? Abiotic theory of oil production. Worth looking into if you got a few minutes, just to open your mind to other possibilities. But I'd heard that some of the oil wells were supposedly sucked dry are actually starting to refill again, which shouldn't really happen, should it? If it's what they tell us it is. But if it's the abiotic theory of oil production, then that would make sense. Also, do you remember how many times they've told us, we're going to run out of the world's going to run out of oil, or in the 70s and this, that, and the other, and there's always this, every now and then this scare we're going to run out of oil. Not anymore, because they keep discovering loads, particularly in the Mediterranean, off of Lebanon and Israel and Cyprus, around the area. Massive, massive oil and gas reserves. It's just, yeah, the supply is not really an issue. In terms of the prices at the moment, the supply, the price is high because of a supply issue, but that's not because we don't have the physical stuff. That's to do with the refining of it and production of it and the pumping of it and the distribution of it. Nothing to do with how much there is in the earth. There's absolutely masses of the stuff. And so yeah, but it made me laugh, just a stupid t-shirt. I think I'd seen as well that the same guy was the guy who at one point he was on a football pitch and he sort of not taped him, but like kind of tie wrapped himself to the goal post, and it looked like he had it around his neck though. I was thinking, that's a bit of a stupid move there, dude. You do that a bit too tight, you're in trouble. But yeah, no. I would hazard a guess. I mean, I'm not a betting man, but I would hazard a guess that the guy is probably from a fairly wealthy middle class or middle upper class kind of background, probably with wealthy parents, and just thinks he's doing his bit for some kind of cause. He doesn't actually understand economics or life or science. Just stop oil. What a ridiculous thing. Anyway, let's bring this back up, see if there are any other stories. What else is going on? Peruvian firefighters contain blaze near Machu Picchu after 3 days. Okay, good job if they've got it under control. Cryptocurrency, I know nothing really about that. Not going to go near that with a barge pole. Kind of wish I had it at the right time, because a lot of people made a lot of money. But the thing is with that, it's kind of gambling. It's always at the expense of other people as well. With these kind of things like cryptos, if people put money into it and then it suddenly goes up and they sell and they make money, yeah, that sounds nice, but there's always going to be victims on that side of things, aren't there? There's always going to be people that lost out, because that money doesn't just come from nowhere. Yeah, it's going to be at somebody's expense. The iPhone turns 15. Oh yes, okay. Pretentious, overpriced phone products turn 15. Show my hand there, aren't I? Actually, no. I mean, to be fair, like they're good products. They work well. I've never really been too much into Apple, just because you're paying about 3 times the price for the same amount of tech as something cheaper. Um, I did once have an iPod Touch years back when it was so it was effectively like an iPhone, but just without the phone capability, just with everything else, all the when you're in Wi-Fi, the internet, all that kind of stuff, which was it was a really useful product. Don't get me wrong, but the only reason I got it is because I didn't spend my own money. It was actually some vouchers from work I'd won, and so I spent those on that rather than shelling out my actual cash for an Apple product. What else have we got here? Entertainment. Steve Wright to leave BBC Radio 2 weekday show after nearly 24 years. That is a long time. Yeah, I remember that name from when I was younger. Steve Wright. Steve Wright in the afternoon. Saying that, I mean, I knew of him. I don't think I ever really spent much time actually listening to the radio show, but I presume it was good. If he's been around that long, that people liked it. Here we go. Stranger Things season 4. Who died in the finale? Ooh, I don't want to read spoilers here for people. But yeah, that's. I don't know if they're doing it in phases. I think my daughter said there's only the first 2 episodes they're releasing today, and then I guess they'll phase them over the next sort of few days or weeks. She's probably starting to watch that just as we speak now, actually. Oh yeah, this is sad. Technoblade. I don't know him. My daughter said he's a YouTuber that I think she used to watch bits of. He's passed away of cancer, only age 23. That's pretty tragic. That's no age that yeah, I feel sorry for his family and everything, and for him, that's no age at all, is it? Achieved a bit in his life in terms of being successful, but no, and that's just money, isn't it? It's not, that's awful. That's put me on a bit of a downer. Come on, people. We need something to cheer me up a bit. We need something a bit more lively. Formula One. Nelson, I don't know how you pronounce that. Pickett? Oh, how do you pronounce his name? Anyway, aimed further racial and homophobic slurs at Lewis Hamilton. Oof. Has he been? What's going on there? I don't know this story. Has he been sort of saying been saying racist things to Lewis? Has he? Well, this cookies every time. Yeah, whatever. Use of racial slur. 3 times champion emerged on Monday. That's not good. If true, I always preface everything with, the media, and they just make stuff up most of the time. But yeah, if he's actually saying racist stuff to Lewis, that's pretty bad. I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm no particular big fan of Lewis Hamilton, but race shouldn't even be mentioned or even be a thing in terms of, I take the Mickey more out of his fashion and earrings and you know what I mean. His choices in terms of things like that. As a racer, he's a great driver, a really good driver. I've seen him do some amazing racing in his time, and I used to like his battles with Rosberg when that season when they were together. Because there was one time I remember they were doing the qualifying for pole position, and Rosberg missed out on it by literally 3 milliseconds, and Rosberg just kind of lost his cool and went, "Damn it!" on the team radio. That was quite funny. But I quite like as well the way Rosberg kind of trolled Lewis, because when he beat him during that season and was world champion, then he just kind of immediately retired. So it's like, yeah, that's it. I won. I'm the champion, and you can't take it back off me. You're not gonna beat me. I'm gonna go out undefeated. That must have maybe created on Lewis a little bit, because I'm sure he probably wanted to race him hard the next season to sort of have the bragging rights of beating him again, but didn't get the chance. So fair play Rosberg. I think he played a blinder there. As you can tell, I sometimes quite like to keep an eye on the Formula One and stuff. But yeah, there's no room for racism on drivers. That's awful. They're there to race the cars, and I don't know what was said. I'll leave it at that. But like I say, I'm not no particular fan of Hamilton, but there's no place for that. What else is going on then? Wimbledon. I've never been fussed on tennis, I'll be honest. Don't know why. Never really been my thing. One thing I do kind of disagree with though was the whole thing of like not letting the Russian athletes like compete, the tennis players. I think that was a thing. I was like, really? I mean, surely they can just play under a neutral flag or something. Like sports people, they're not really, they're not the ones making the decisions for the country. They shouldn't really be. That's just my opinion. You might disagree. If you disagree, pop it in the comments. Tell me why, if you think that you disagree. But sports is usually a thing that transcends all other sort of political things that's going on. Things like the Olympics and stuff like that. That should all just be about people just doing their sport and trying to be the best at their sport. And I think anybody that's at the right level should be able to compete. And if there's some controversy about the nation they're from, okay, let them compete under a neutral flag. Just to be a competitor or something. But at least give them the option. I don't kind of like excluding people for things that they didn't do. It'd be a bit like saying to me, "Oh, you can't do such and such because you've got ginger hair." I'd be like, "That's not my fault. It's just the way I am." So it's like these people. They can't say the tennis player. They can't control what country they were born in. And just because the leader of their country is doing things that, is not good, it doesn't mean that they had any part to play in that. You know what I mean? Anyway, that's my little take on that. If you disagree, let me know. Put a comment down below. What else we've got? British GP, Carlos Sainz fastest from Lewis Hamilton in practice 2. Yeah, practice doesn't really matter. It's what happens on qualifying, and then even that doesn't really matter. It's what happens on the race day. But just show that the Ferraris are still on pace. It'll be interesting to see if Mercedes have managed to fix anything up, particularly for the UK, the British Grand Prix. I'm pretty sure, it's Silverstone this weekend, isn't it? It's the hour one. So we'll see how that goes. Hopefully some good racing. See what else is going on. Some new telescope going into space, maybe. I like that kind of stuff. I love all that kind of stuff picked up. Like when they've got new telescopes and ones in infrared that pick up different things that the normal light spectrum can't pick up, and all that. I find all that interesting. What else have we got? The Large Hadron Collider, CERN. I've heard that, is it the 6th of July? They're going to ramp that up again, but with even more energy than before. Now that one, I've got mixed feelings on, because I think they're starting to mess with things there that could potentially cause a lot of problems. I don't know, but I remember years ago when they first sort of were going to start it, and Bill Bailey, the comedian, was talking about it. And he said, hang on, let me just get rid of this here. He said, basically the scientists were saying, we don't really know what's going to go on when we ramp this thing up to speed and we smash these particles together. Either nothing might happen, or I could potentially destroy the world. I was thinking, maybe don't switch it on, maybe. But no, obviously I don't believe that it'll destroy the world, mostly because I've got certain beliefs about certain things that will happen in the future, and that's not the way I see the world going down. But yeah, I don't know, it's an interesting one. They have some very bizarre occult kind of what do you call them, theatrical performances when they open that thing and stuff like that, kind of very bizarre stuff. I don't know what they're trying to do or open up, and there's all sorts of mad theories. If you like a one for going down rabbit holes and looking at crazy theories, that's one to look into for a lark. Is different theories on CERN. But yeah, I think I heard that when they were building it, at one point they were having some issues with trying to start it or something, and then they realised somebody had left something in part of the tunnel, like his lunch or some sandwiches or something. That cracks me up. I love the idea of that. Why is this really sophisticated, expensive piece of equipment? And they're like, what's going on? Why is it not working? And then they're like, oh, matey, Billy over here, he's left his sandwiches there. Sorry. Yeah, we better open that bit up and take the sandwiches back out. I think there's some truth to that. It's a human enough thing to have happened. Which reminds me, actually, a little story when I was a kid and we lived in Germany. We were on the RAF base. It was one where a lot of the tornadoes were taken off. And back in the day, because it was in the sort of 80s, the IRA were targeting a lot of service personnel over in Germany. You know, so there was a army lad got shot and killed. So we were on high alert. Every time we went on and off the base, they had to check the underside of the car with those mirrors on a stick thing to make sure that no bombs or anything had been put on the car, under the underside of the car, and things like that. Various checks to get into the base. And because of that, there was a heightened sense of security. There was one time that one of the lads at the school, because there was a school on the base, he'd accidentally left his bag or something on the bit of grass in front of the school. So there was all of a sudden there's a suspect bag just sitting there, and so they had to do everything by the book. So they had to evacuate that part of the camp. They had to get the little robot thing to come along and controlled explosion to blow up the bag. And it was just this kid's lunch in there or whatever. It was just just a school bag, little robot blowing it up. Good times. But yeah, that made me laugh. So that was the thing when I saw that thing about CERN. It made me remember that story about like some guy had left his sandwich in there by accident or something. I'm sure I saw an article about it at some point. So let's see what else. I might leave that there for now because I have got to go and do some stuff. I've got to go and order some groceries and stuff for the family. Yeah, just going on about monkeypox and things like that. Right, okay, let me get rid of that. So yes, have a great Friday night, everybody, whatever you're doing. I'm quite pleased with this little beauty, this little thingamajig, this caliper, rear caliper. I shouldn't be, you know what, I shouldn't be praising it yet. I don't know if it works. Hopefully it will. You know, I could spend all this time building a custom bracket, getting it all in place, getting all the lines bleeding it all through, and then it just not work. That would be my kind of luck with vehicles. But hopefully it will work. Oh, hang on, somebody's in the chat. The Chernobyl explosion was April 26, 1986. The end of season 4 as at the end of March 1986. Interesting. You're talking about Stranger Things here. So you think they're going to tie it into the Chernobyl thing and tie that into the story? That'd be good. Let's see. I don't think we have seen the last of the Soviet Union in Stranger Things. Thanks, Nikki Cunningham. That is interesting. I guess it won't be too long before we know, because my daughter is probably watching it as we speak. I might go down and try and catch some of what's going on. But good catch. Good thinking. The timing of it. So that's when it's based, yeah? April 1986. And the current season is at the end of March. That would make sense. Hey, good on. If you've caught that, good catch. We'll have to wait and see. Unless you're trolling me, unless you're ahead of us and it's already been released and you've watched it and you know what's going on. Is that the case? Are you tricking me, Nikki? Maybe not. Let's just see. Are you still here? Not seeing anything else popping up in the chat. I think there's a lag as well with this live thing. I've noticed that when people are doing this, I think there's a good sort of 20 seconds or so before you hear what I'm saying. So the chat is usually lagging behind. But thank you very much for getting involved in that and talking about that. That is interesting. Cool. Anything else? I think I might wrap it up. How long have I been talking now? Oh, this screen is too small. I can't see. There's my time. Oh, 20, coming up for 24 minutes. Right. Okay, if that's all for today, I will see you all later. Have a great Friday night. Have a great weekend, whatever you're doing. And I will catch you next time I do a live stream. Right. See you later. Bye.